Hi Cappies, welcome to 8 of Cups Tarot. Welcome to your mid-month love reading. Now this reading is going to go from mid-October to mid-November. And there's a lot of stuff going in between that time. We have a new moon coming up in Libra, which is your 10th house, which is really going to highlight fresh starts in your career, or just, you know, I think Capricorns are kind of really under the most immense transformation, and that's really maybe putting it mildly, because everybody's under an immense transformation. Capricorn is kind of paving the way, as I've been saying, the fruits of the labor. Your journey for you started a little bit longer, a while back, before it really started for the rest of us. So the shifts have been bigger. The new understandings have been bigger. And now you start to see, as you go through the end of these transits, maybe you're starting to meet yourself for the first time, starting to really understand who this new person is that you're stepping into. Now, I know that sounds a little bit weird, but we're under some weird transits. We're closing out that full moon in Aries, which was a couple weeks ago, and it probably put you under this immense stress. Being in your 4th house, it could have been involving your home, your children, your family, like the core foundation of who you are, what you were built on. Now, we still have Mars retrograde in that 4th house, but this month it starts to oppose the sun, meaning there's illumination. And I think, if anything, this Scorpio season, and I call it Scorpio season because technically, yeah, it's still Libra right now, but we're in a retrograde Mercury in Scorpio. We have Pluto moving direct, and we have Mars retrograde, and that's a lot of the masculine energy, a lot of the transformation energies. They're really prominent in your chart right now. So it's sort of a big deal. You know, Pluto going direct in your 1st house is kind of starting to step into this new power that you have. Now, Mars retrograde, I don't want anybody to think when I say that you're stepping into this new power, it's not like, grr, I'm gonna like overtake people or overthrow things or really, throw around my weight. In fact, I think it's quite the opposite for Capricorn. Now, you do have Venus moving through your 9th house, which tells me that this month is also going to bring a little bit of a softening. And I think it's a gift, because it's an opportunity to lose any resentments that you have from the past. It's no joke that Capricorn's been through some shit, right? In the past couple of years, it's kind of just been shoveling our way through shit. A lot of things changing, a lot of people letting you down, and that's kind of the Capricorn energy of I don't need to rely on anybody else. I've got myself. Yet we go through this huge transformation, and Capricorn says, maybe I don't want to do it all on my own. Maybe it's not about whether I'm capable of it or not. It's about what my heart really wants now. It's not a question of can I do it on my own. It's a question of, do I want to continue to do it on my own? Or do I want to invite others into my life? Do I want to change the way that I look at relationships as a whole? There's a softening of the energy. And when I say that you're stepping into your power, that has softened as well. It's no longer about having to let our presence be known. And I think that's really important for Capricorn as we step into this Pluto direct energy, which, by the way, it's stationed, but it doesn't really technically start making forward progress until November. So that Pluto is just kind of sitting there, and it can lead to obsessive thoughts, but I think Capricorns are going to handle it a lot easier than some of the other signs this month, because of the evolution, because of the growth that you've been experiencing. And I often think, when I look at these Plutonian transits that we go through, You know, a naive way of going through life is feeling like you have to throw around your power. You have to let your presence be known when you walk in a room. But I think there's something to be said about somebody that can walk in a room quietly and yet you still feel their presence. And in order to have that kind of power, you have to be really in touch with your intuition. You have to really trust yourself. You have to really love yourself. You have to, you know, have the strong foundations within you and not be so swayed by other people who you've probably learned a lot through manipulation of other people in the past. Most recently, you know, going through experiences where you realize that other people were kind of manipulating you, making you feel a little held back. And I think Capricorn is starting to get a feel for the new shoes they're walking in, right? And I think it's pretty exciting. Now, looking at these cards, you are coming out as a Child of Wands. Now this card comes out, and I'm gonna cover both of these at the same time. Child of Wands and the Three of Swords. This is past energy, okay? Now we all know the Three of Swords is about heartache and drama and loss. Sometimes it's not particularly, you know, an exciting card to pull in a tarot card reading, but those swords were lessons, and they were not lessons that were wasted on you guys at all. The Child of Wands is kind of this curious energy where maybe you were quick to move on a desire, okay? Maybe it's where you kind of really sink your teeth into other people's potentials. You see other people's, you know, strengths, but maybe not so quick to see their weaknesses. And so when you go about life in that way, wanting to really grab it, whatever it is that you want, just wanting it, the desire to have it. When I see the Three of Swords there, it tells me that you've probably experienced what happens when you really invest your heart into someone without really understanding your intuition. Because there's a sense of an ending, there's a sense of a loss, but I think more than that, there's a sense of a reflection and accountability, which is exactly what's happening to all of us right now. And I said it before, I think October is going to be a lot about accountability. See, these Three of Swords, there's a reconciliation with these. And it's kind of reconciling the experience all together, you know. Now, it could reflect the fact that maybe you were with somebody and it was like a 3 strikes and out kind of deal. They continued over and over to show you who they truly were. And, you know, fool me once, fool me twice, but it sure as hell isn't happening 3 times. So I think in a way, this Three of Swords is Capricorn reaching a certain limit with people, kind of starting to draw the line on what they're willing to feel this for, who they're willing to go through this for. Look, anytime you start a new journey, anytime you start a new relationship, this is always a possibility. Now, we don't want to focus on it. We don't want to assume that each relationship is going to end up in a Three of Swords. Of course not. But when they do, there's something there to be learned. And I think the 3 is a very significant number, because I think 3 also represents a number of creativity. And I think this is asking you to look at your past experiences, the mindset that you were in when they came to you, and get an idea of what you've been creating from. What have your visions been? What have you been asking for? Now, Capricorn, I remember your monthly reading. We talked a lot about it being okay to ask for more. You know, I think maybe some of you were in situations or relationships, yet becoming this new version of yourself, and suddenly what seemed okay, what seemed sustainable was no longer sustainable because your heart was opening, your heart is growing, and it's very evident that it is continuing in spite of a disappointment, in spite of a loss. Now this comes out underneath, above the card of change. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. So the Child of Wands may have been you kind of pushing at a situation, testing the limits. Where is this going to go? Like I said, being comfortable saying, hey, I realize that I want some different things in life now. Maybe I want a commitment. Maybe I want the babies. Maybe I want to focus on work and I don't want to be in a relationship at all. Whatever it was, Capricorn initiated a change. Now, underneath the Three of Swords is a separation card. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon. So, we're probably starting off the mid of October, walking away from a prominent situation, which, by the way, catapults you into a whole new arena. I think part of that Three of Swords energy was a little bit of the universe. Now, when I look at these Three of Swords and I think of the 3 planets that you're currently housing, these big, heavy, lugging, deep planets. You've got Jupiter, which is a planet of expansion that's really pushing you to grow in a different direction, to try things you've never tried, to believe in things you never believed possible. You have Saturn, which is saying you've got to do it the right way. You've got to have the right people. You've got to pay attention to the foundation, meaning you can't just go out and meet anybody and they become the husband or wife that you always wanted. You know, you kind of have to be a little discerning, which is the opposite of a Child of Wands that just sees something that they like and continues to see where this goes. There's nothing wrong with a Child of Wands energy. There's nothing wrong with dating, not taking things real seriously, staying casual, starting to, learn more about yourself and what you want, the qualities that you want in other people. But Saturn says there's probably a certain boundary that you're not willing to cross. There's probably a higher set of standards that these people have to reach now because the Three of Swords, you've been burned in the past. And the thing is, currently, your energy is the Guardian of Cups. I love this card. I love this card for current energy. I absolutely adore this energy because Capricorn, you are protecting your heart. Now, above this and the overall energy of the reading is the Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles is all about wish fulfillment, goal achievement, financial security. It's about security in general. And maybe this is a thing that all the other relationships have been lacking. Maybe there's been a lack of commitment from certain partners. Maybe you've kind of been asking the King of Wands or Queen of Wands. You know what? I shouldn't even say king or queen. The Knight of Wands, kind of energy. People that aren't really in it for the long haul. People that maybe just want to see how long they could take advantage of this situation. And I think that has to come to an end so that Capricorn can finally go after the things that they truly deserve. And part of that process is realizing exactly what you have to offer. See, I think that Three of Swords is where you stop blaming yourself. You stop saying things like, well, I'm just not good enough. And you start really looking honestly at the other people in your life. Now, Capricorn, you're very strong, you're very determined, you're very independent. But when it comes to that 7th house, Cancer, in your 7th house, everyone knows that that Cappy has a soft spot. There's a loyalty there. And sometimes even when people don't treat you the greatest, even when you're not being treasured for everything that you are and everything that you bring to the table, there seems to always be a level of forgiveness. And I think that's what's dissipating in you right now, because you are fiercely guarding yourself, your heart, your feelings. Sometimes I could say, okay, you may be a little too protective, maybe a little untrusting, but I don't see that here. I see this as exactly how you need to think and how you need to act. Because Capricorn, I think the 10 of Pentacles is a symbol that you are the 10 of Pentacles. You are everything that somebody out there is praying for, okay? You are the kind of person that someone somewhere is putting down on a piece of paper. You have all those qualities. And I think Capricorn has really had enough with the relationships that don't go anywhere, that don't show growth and investment in the future, relationships that aren't for the long-term success, that aren't adding value to your life. Now, that's not to say that you're not interested in people that aren't career-oriented or successful, because again, there's a softness there. And I think the qualities that Capricorn is looking for now, the standards have been really raised. I think you're asking for the right things, which was exactly my advice, and I love it for you. We get to the end of the reading, and this energy really changes. There's a tremendous amount of progress, and I'm almost somewhat anxious to show you, because I think this is so very unexpected. Your challenge card is that of the Ace of Pentacles. Now, there's a couple different ways that I'm looking at this, but one of them, if you look closely, this is like one of those things that, I don't know, they call them like helicopter seeds that fly off the trees in spring. There's an indication of spring here. Now, you could be feeling like you're moving into your own personal kind of springtime, and you are getting close, Capricorn, especially my Capricorn sons. We're not far from Capricorn season. We're also not far off in December. The Jupiter-Saturn conjunction actually occurs in Aquarius, your 2nd house, and this could feel like such a relief, like Saturn is finally off of you. Things become lighter. And the Ace of Pentacles means there's not a whole lot of density that's holding you down like it was before. Now, these next couple of months as we go through this, you might still feel that heaviness. It might still feel like things aren't moving. They are. You're planting the seeds. Your thoughts are so incredibly important this month, Cappies. You are planting the seeds of your intentions. And underneath that Ace of Pentacles is a wedding card. This situation involves marriage. Now, for some of you, maybe you drew some boundaries, delivered an ultimatum of somewhat, said, I'm not going to put up with this, or this. And this person comes back and there's a match, okay? If that's what happens, it probably gets back on track. Things are fixed. There's a new beginning. Ace of Pentacles always represents a new beginning. Ace of Pentacles, I look at this card and I think of these particular things, and there's like 1,000 of them in your yard every day, right? Like they just cover your cars. So I think the opportunities are going to come in, right? Like you might have 1,000 opportunities. You might have 1,000 people wanting to date you. You might, you remember Venus is in Virgo and it's making a trine, meaning you're very attractive right now. You're attracting things because of your peace of mind, because you are honoring and protecting your heart, yourself, because of your self-love, that these things are just going to fly at you in every direction. So I don't want my Capricorns to really be stuck in this fear of missing an opportunity, right? I don't want anybody out there to be super hyper vigilant, like going out to the grocery store and wondering if you're not going to run into the person, okay? It's like things are just going to start coming to you, and it doesn't even have to be people that you meet. I think you're starting to step into your power, and part of that is your power of manifestation. So if you start to play with it and you start to understand the way that the universe really works, there's going to be a lot of success. And it could be something really simple. Like you start to realize and you start to believe in this new way, and then you say, well, every other person I've dated has had blonde hair, and I don't want to deal with people with blonde hair anymore. And the next thing you know, you start feeling attracted to dark-haired people. I mean, I don't know, it's just a stupid example, but it's just kind of an assurance that the things that you're asking for are going to be delivered to you at your doorstep. And the thing about the Ace of Pentacles is there's really not a whole lot of effort on your part, meaning you don't have to feel pressure to start those dating websites or do your dating profile. Like, coming out of this Three of Swords energy in the Garden of Cups, you may not really be in the mode to outwardly find love or establish a new relationship. However, the mindset that you're in, the self-love that you're in, is attracting the opportunities to you. But not to worry, because if you don't like one, another will come. I mean, they look kind of like sperm, right? There's plenty of those to go around. Just because it's a seed doesn't mean you have to plant it. And that's why I really see this energy coming in. Because I think Capricorn isn't really interested in just a whole bunch of opportunities or a whole bunch of seeds. I think that Venus in Virgo and then Venus moving into Libra in your 9th house is really going to put you in this mode of being really choosy about the things that start to enter your life. Learning from the past so that you don't recreate situations in which you will be hurt or disappointed. We're looking at long-term stuff now. We're looking at long-term, big picture. This is not looking at somebody that you want to date and saying, well, they have a nice car and a decent job, I'll give it a try. No, this is more like, what's their personality? What's their mentality? What's their mental health? What's their stability? Do they want children? Are our values the same? Like, these are the really big things. And sometimes when we're in a lower vibrational relationship that we're even afraid to confront. Because when you're in those relationships, I think there's always the intuition. There's always in the back of your head, like maybe this person isn't going to work out. Maybe we're not on the same page. And yet because you sense that instability, you sense that mismatched frequency, sometimes we're afraid to confront it. And I don't see Capricorn being afraid to confront anything this month. Now, this was a challenge card. The overall outcome is the Child of Cups. This is beautiful energy. Like, you look at this, and I just see so much protection. And I think that one is always preceding the other. When you start to really care and love yourself, when you start to really fall in love with who you are and what you have to offer, and you start to really value that stuff, well, people come in that are at that same frequency. They're at that same vibration. They want those same things. They value the same things that you value. And I think this Child of Cups is about you being brave enough to ask for the things that you truly want and the universe giving it to you. And there's something that's really astounding and amazing about how quickly this transformation takes place. Now this card does come out above card number 14, breaking down to a 5, truth be told. Again, 5 is an element of change, okay? There's so much here that needed to be changed, and it all started with Capricorn speaking their truth. Capricorn really embracing the things that they truly want in their life. And ask and you shall receive. As soon as you are honest about it, as soon as there's no shame, there's no resentment, there's no fear. Fear that if I ask this person if they want to get married and have children, and what if they tell me, no, I don't ever want to get married. No, I don't want kids. Well, you could waste your time on those relationships, or you could just be really upfront about the things that you want and not be afraid to walk away from the things that aren't representing that. That's the thing. Capricorn, this is what I'm talking about when I say that you're stepping into your own power and your own strength. And you're not afraid to ask, and therefore you will receive. Truth be told. This little fish, this brand new beginning, this new offer in love is surrounded in that blue, that green, and that pink, telling me there's heart chakra opening, there's communication, there's the ability to be yourself, to be vulnerable, and for it to all work out beautifully. This was a fabulous reading, Capricorn. I couldn't have asked for a better way to follow up the beginning of the month's overall reading. This is really fantastic, and I'm super excited for you. This 10 of Pentacles. And look at this. Underneath it, the Emperor and the 10 of Swords. Oh my God, sometimes I just really, it takes you on a loop. I haven't done this for all the signs, but yours is just so fluid, and there's a lot of energy coming from this deck. So you have the 10 of Pentacles, meaning these are the things that you truly want in your life. And the Emperor, meaning that you're going to step into your own power and take them. When you step into that power, 10 of Swords, some things have to go, and you can't be afraid to let them go. Some people just simply don't want the things that you want now. And that's okay. We're all on our own path. We're all on our journey. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to get ugly. It just has to end so there could be a new beginning. Death is the transformation, and the Elder of Swords is the vision, and the world is exactly what you will receive. Everything that you want. Completing an old karmic cycle and starting something off new with a brand new mindset and a brand new strength behind you. This is an amazing reading, Capricorn. I'm so excited that things are going to finally start to get better for you. And my Capricorn ascendant couldn't be happier. This is a relief for all of us. All right, guys. I'll be coming back, of course, for the November readings. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to an astrology or pick a card reading this month. It's been pretty hairy. But nonetheless, I think that this is, you're on the right path. It's apparent, Capricorn. If you could hear that, I think that was definitely a confirmation. All right, guys, take care. I hope you have a wonderful month. I love you so much, and I'll see you in November. Bye.